Now, my colleague Eric Nyoka recently spoke to Beyond's executive editor Palki Sharma Upadhyay. She is currently in Washington, D.C. tracking all the developments as they happen. Listen in to their conversation on Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's three-day visit.
Well, Beyond's executive editor Palki Sharma Upadhyay is currently in Washington, D.C. tracking all the developments. Prime Minister Modi is set to meet with U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris for their first face-to-face meet today, then hold a bilateral with President Biden. Modi will also hold one-on-one meetings with 5 top executives from the United States. Palki, take us through why this visit by Modi to the United States is significant, especially on strengthening India's comprehensive global strategic partnership with the United States.
I should start by saying that it's going to be an action-packed visit. Tomorrow or later today for you, is day 1 of Prime Minister Modi's engagements, and he has 8 meetings, 8 back-to-back meetings, as you said, with business leaders, with CEOs, and then with Quad partners, starting with the Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison, then Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the US, and finally Yoshihide Suga, the Prime Minister of Japan. The next day, of course, he'll be meeting President Biden, his first face-to-face meeting with President Biden since he took over, and of course the Quad meeting that will follow. And Modi will be the first speaker at the UNGA session on Saturday, that is the 25th. So there's a lot that is lined up along with other events that may come up along the way. This is significant because I should also tell you that this is Prime Minister Modi's 7th visit to the US since he took over prime ministership. So he's been visiting America almost every year, and he's had a very good working relationship with the previous administration. He's had an old relationship with Joe Biden. Remember, when Prime Minister Modi took over as Prime Minister of India in 2014, he came here, and then it was President Biden, then Vice President Biden, who hosted him for lunch. So this is an old equation that is being revived. It is very significant because this meeting comes at a time when the world has gone through a lot of changes in geopolitical equations, and India is looking at cementing a relationship with America, which has proven to be a stable and reliable ally. So there's a lot that is going to come up. The Modi-Biden agenda, we're told, will focus on Afghanistan. That is, of course, the top headline that the world has been tracking. And what happens in Afghanistan will have direct bearing on India and, of course, by extension, the rest of the world as well. But India has specific concerns vis-a-vis security, vis-a-vis the terror safe havens that may come up in Afghanistan. So that's something that will be discussed. The South Asian region and issues of common interest. So this is what they will talk about. Vice President Kamala Harris is also going to be meeting Prime Minister Modi, as we said, tomorrow. There is a focus on this relationship, and India comes with the assurance that there is strong bipartisan support for a relationship with India in Washington, D.C., and that is what Prime Minister Modi is going to try and cement. Eric?
Palki, the much-awaited first-ever in-person Quad Leader Summit with Modi, Japanese Prime Minister Suga and Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison. How strategic is the summit in the region?
The Quad is very important. The Quad is also a very old concept. Remember, the first structure of the Quad was seen in 2004 post the Boxers Day tsunami, and when these 4 countries came together to provide aid in the wake of the tsunami. 2007 was when we heard of something called a quadrilateral dialogue, and that was because Shinzo Abe, then Prime Minister of Japan, put his weight behind it. And almost immediately we saw the Quad disintegrate because of very many political reasons and power equations, and perhaps the members then did not have a very compelling reason to take on China. Even now they say that the Quad is an alliance that stands for something and not against someone, and that's something that the Indian side is very, very keen on underlining. But there's no denying the fact that all of these are democracies, and all of these democracies have have a converging agenda when it comes to taking on China's expansionism. So the Quad is very significant, and this meeting, the first in-person meeting of Quad leaders, also comes at a time when the US has already announced something called AUKUS, something that we have been reflecting in our news coverage as well, the military alliance between the US, the UK and Australia. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what shape and scope the Quad decides for itself after the first meeting, in-person meeting of these leaders. And will the Quad have a military dimension, or will this be an alliance that is going to be looking at other broader areas of cooperation? That's something that we expect to be defined and clarified in the next 2 days.
Indeed, Palki, my final question to you. Also in focus is Modi's speech at the 76th UNGA, with key interest on COVID-19 pandemic, of course, the need to combat terrorism and climate change. What more do we know about this summit, and what should we look out for during Modi's speech at the UNGA?
From what we are given to understand, Prime Minister Modi is going to focus on COVID and is going to share India's experience in tackling the pandemic. He is going to talk at length about what India went through and how India as a country came together to deal with a punishing second wave and what the experiences have been. Remember, India has been at the forefront of providing vaccines, and that is something that the government is going to restart next month, we understand. So that's something that Prime Minister Modi will focus on. The role of vaccines, terrorism is a global threat, of course. That's something that India highlights every time at the United Nations General Assembly. Very, very relevant in the wake of the evolving situation in Afghanistan and Pakistan's role. Both of these things have a direct impact on what happens in India, and that will, I'm sure, resonate with the rest of the members of the United Nations General Assembly. The other important point that India will want to focus on is reform at the United Nations. That's something that New Delhi has been pushing for a while now. The United Nations is more than 7 decades old. The global realities have changed since then. Other powers, including India, have come up, and they need to take their rightful place at the UN high table. So reform at the UN in general and reform at the United Nations Security Council in particular should be on top of India's agenda as Prime Minister Modi addresses the UNGA in 2 days from now.
Live from Washington, D.C., WION's executive editor, Palki Sharma, thank you very much for your insights.
WION USA Direct from Washington, D.C. with Palki Sharma Upadhyay.
WION World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.